was awesome!
He is not awesome! You gave me a machete for my birthday?
Classic Jaeger Clade.
I was 2.
Obviously, when you sign up for something like this, you don't know what it's going to look like. So I was wondering, both of you, when you got that first pitch, what was it that appealed to you about the film?
I mean, I'm a fan of animation in general, having worked in it a little bit before this, and what they were doing was just visually so stimulating and exciting that drew me in. And then once I figured out the story and how urgent and relevant it felt, it was a no-brainer after that.
Yeah, I mean, for me, there's just this sort of allure of being in Disney animation, being the voice of a character in it. And then when they pitched me the story, I was so moved. I mean, Don, our director, his father's a farmer, and so a lot of it was based on his own personal experience and relationship with his family. And he brought so much of himself, and so did Kui and Roy. They brought so much of their own story to it. And I was just so moved by the idea of 3 generations of men struggling to communicate and believing that they were right in times when they were very clearly wrong, and just finding their identity and in places that they would never have expected. And then ultimately learning to love each other by saving the world. Sounds like a pretty good thing. Or in reverse, in order to save the world, they had to learn to love each other. And I just loved that idea.
And the first thing was when I saw your name was attached, I thought, you're playing a dad of a teenager? Did you not at any point go, oh, no, I'm too young for this?
Oh, no. I mean, I think it all works so beautifully within the sort of the progression of generations, in this movie. And I loved the idea of playing the sort of middle Clade, and he feels so kind of open and progressive and aware, and yet has so much to learn still. And he learns from his son, and I love that. I love that idea. So no, I had no hesitation in playing the dad. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, are there any of your own characteristics that are sort of were brought to your characters? Is there anything of you that you recognise in your parts?
No, nothing. He's like neurotic, and he's sort of easily excitable and scared.
Yeah,
and,
uses his
he's
hands
not.
a
It's
lot.
nothing like it's. He uses his hands a lot. It's nothing like me.
At
But
all.
so I'm super tough and ready for anything. So I feel no likeness. What about you?
It actually is scary how close it is to me. Yeah. There was one scene in particular where Ethan is sitting in a chair, and when we're in the booth, we're standing up the entire time. They're recording us, so I know that they're getting this, but Ethan sat in a chair and he kind of readjusted himself in a way that I was like, I do that exactly, and I know I've never sat down in front of these people like that before. So where did they get that from? It's like they really study you and capture your soul in a way. Except for Jake, I don't know.
Nothing
I guess
like
they
me
did.
at all.
Yeah, I think they missed it.
That kind of tough guy mystique that I got, just doesn't really.
They just they took a lot of creative liberties.
They
with this
really did.
character.
They really sort of shaved down any sort of sense of who I.
Right.
It is uncanny how oddly similar I am to my character. I don't know why. I love hemp linen pants and I've never grown a beard in my life, so it doesn't, and it's weird. They stole our facial expressions over time when they filmed us, and there are just some things that I just thought I was flattered, unflattered by.
And is that quite odd when you see the film and you're sort of looking at an animated you and thinking, actually, that is a bit like me?
It's so cool. I mean, who are we kidding? It's
amazing.
To use the pieces of who we are and then to create something completely new and put it in a world that's animated is the coolest. It's so cool.
Were you asking at any point whether there'd be a doll?
I didn't.
Yeah, but there is. Yeah.
Yeah.
So have you got yours?
Yeah, I got my little Ethan action figure. He's jumping over a rock.
Oh, cool.
It's really cute.
Does he come with Splat or the dog?
No, Splat and Legend sold separately. Yeah.
I mean, one thing I was looking, the fans are so excited on Twitter about this and about the representation in this movie. Is that something that you were expecting, just the excitement about Ethan?
I think that's never really something that I am anticipating. I was lucky enough to work on Baymax and voice Mabita, who was the first lead gay Disney character across like all mediums, TV, film. And just doing that, I had so much fun in the process of making it and just getting into that character and having fun in the booth that I'm not really like, and this is gonna be really important to a lot of people. Like, I think that's for other people to decide. And when they do decide it, it's beautiful. It's like, it's very special. The reaction to that was, it was so overwhelming in a way that I wasn't expecting. And I think this as well, you know, you can forget sometimes how needed stuff like this is for people.
I mean, the other thing I really like about it is the father-son, grandfather-father-son relationship in the movie. I mean, does it, when you're doing something like this, does it make you think about your own family and sort of relationships and how you are with your own dad and things like that?
How can it not? I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, I think I was so moved by it because I think in family, there's so much we want, right? There's so much we want. We want to be understood. We want to be heard. We want to understand. And there's so much that we won't be able to. And yet we're just all kind of searching through all the stuff to get to hopefully a connection of love, you know? And that's what this movie is about. So I definitely saw similarities in my relationship with my parents and with the younger generation in my family. Things I understand, things I think I understand, but I don't at all, you know? And I was really moved by that. I really think the idea that the outer world, our outer world, can be healed if we can kind of all heal our inner worlds is just such an important and lovely idea. And I face that with my family every day, every hour, sometimes every minute. So it's, you know, committing to be a part of something, whether it was our choice or not, because we were born where we were, is the magic of being alive.
Obviously, it's the second time that Dennis Quaid's played your dad.
Yes.
And can we have some sort of deal, please? Because obviously the first time you were in like one scene together in The Day After Tomorrow.
I mean, like barely. I don't even know if we shot at the same time. I feel like we shot his coverage sometime, and then I don't know if we never actually physically worked together.
And then this time you're animated. So can you please do a third movie when it's the two of you, actually live action, please?
I actually think it's much more interesting when the two of us are not in any scenes together. And I enjoy very much not working with Dennis. It's a real pleasure not working with him. No, I mean, yeah, I would love to. I mean, he's such a, like, even now to this day, like thinking about who he is and his personality and how incredibly he created Jaeger Clade. I mean, he's like my favorite character in the movie. I mean, outside of Splat. I just love what Dennis did with Jaeger. He's just huge and full of energy and larger than life. And it's always a pleasure to be in films with him.
I mean, he's a cool dad to have on screen. So I've got to ask you, cool dad to have on screen?
Yeah, pretty cool. Pretty good dad, yeah.
He paid you to say that, yeah.
Yeah, he did. Very handsomely, yeah.
Oh, handsome, huh?
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
Oh, hey,
Venmo, which we have in the States, you don't have to.
What's that?
Well, my last question is, obviously you've done like the huge Marvel movie now, you know, with Mysterio, and then this. Which is harder? Is it harder to act with loads of green screen special effects and, you know, tennis balls on sticks? Or is this harder where you're literally just in a booth acting to nothing at all?
None of it is hard. I wouldn't say it's hard. All of it was pretty great fun. Like this movie says, I think the harder thing is trying to understand some family members and what they mean. The making of the movies and being involved in them has been a pleasure. So, you know, it is a little funny sometimes, like fake kissing your animated wife without actually working with the actor who's playing her. But besides that, it's quite an adventure.